Hello everyone, and happy Halloween. It is currently 3 AM in my time zone, so what a great time to start a video. Can Goku defeat the evil and nightmarish creatures of horror? For this Halloween, we shall be finding out if Goku can survive the night, protect his family, and maybe even defeat these horrific creatures.
Let's find out. Michael Myers should scale to above war level. This is because of his scaling with Dead by Daylight, scaling to the door-busting feat calculated at 500,000 joules, with being able to survive a house exploding also counts to small building level. Old Mikey here is able to dodge bullets point blank, giving him subsonic speeds in combat and reaction time, and for his unkillability, he can survive things humans really shouldn't. Like he's able to regenerate from wounds, like a lot of wounds, even getting beat up by lots of people at the same time. This classifies as Type 2 and Type 3 immortality. However, these immortalities have their limits, as Michael is able to die and can be overpowered still.
Your mom's a hoe!
Within the dream world, Freddy Krueger can walk, manipulate, and can control the entire realm, which in the books are stated as an alternate reality to our own, arguably being universal. And in this realm, over his manipulation, he can pretty much do whatever he wants. This goes from him turning people afraid of bugs into a bug, to sending a house into space, reaching sub-relativistic levels of speed. Being the Springwood slasher, he can survive lots and lots of punishment. In fact, he has immortalities type 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. So he's pretty unkillable, but can still die. He can die from either being forgotten, or simply removing the concept of hate and fear. Leatherface is a depressing cannibal. With Leatherface also being in Dead by Daylight, his higher end scaling would have 500,000 joules as well, getting him to high war level. Packed up with a chainsaw and his speed of outracing humans, he is a pretty terrifying threat. This just makes it even more terrifying where he's able to sense people around and get a speed boost when he has a lust for killing someone. Yes, we're including Dead by Daylight. It's kind of insane to include it, considering Leatherface is just a human in the movies, but he has immortalities type 1 and 8 in the Dead by Daylight series. He can also randomly summon hooks, which is pretty scary as well.
Well, what can I say?
A walking, talking doll that has access to guns, grenades, and a laundry list of swear words. A grenade can deal the equivalent of damage to multiple tons of TNT, and packing his guns he can shoot from a range and kill many people with. Oh, he also has voodoo magic. He can basically put someone's soul into a plate or switch bodies or just straight up possess you. In fact, he can actually exist in many dolls' bodies at once, and killing one of them does not kill all of them, or even kill the hive mind, which is weird.
What's your favorite scary movie?
So, did you know Ghostface was in Call of Duty, Among Us, and Dead by Daylight?
And this is important because that means Ghostface gets all of his Call of Duty weapons. But for scaling from Dead by Daylight, he has his 500,000 joules AP and subsonic speeds. With Call of Duty, he would have the RPG and can deal small building levels of destruction, with similar speeds of outrunning humans. Overall, Ghostface is pretty much the same thing as Leatherface, except he's got an RPG instead of a chainsaw. Yep, that's it. Jason Voorhees is easily able to take down many stupid humans. In the comics, he can ram his clone through a steel wall, which has some calculations to small building level, and because they're mostly composite versions of these characters, he scales to Mortal Kombat's Liu Kang, who has massively hypersonic levels of speed, because of course he now does. And because we're including Mortal Kombat, Jason also gets large building levels of scaling, also due to scaling to Liu Kang. And because Jason is the most unkillable bastard you could probably think of, he has type 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7 levels of immortality. Hellraiser is the one with the pain fetish. Pinhead can manipulate chains which can cut through humans and trains with subsonic speeds, even catching 3 bullets in his mouth. While his stats aren't much, his abilities is what makes him terrifying, as he is invulnerable and can raise the dead as Cenobites. A Cenobite is a zombie, pretty much. He can also change temperatures and generate electricity, mess with your mind, soul, and memories. It can easily turn you into a painting, because of course he can. He can pretty much do all of this with the power of telekinesis and his hell powers, which explains why he can survive a lot of stuff like his heart being ripped out and loving every bit of it. Gross. So, you probably don't know who the Tall Man is. You probably all know Michael, Jason, and everyone prior, but the Tall Man is someone who is very unknown. From the story of Phantasm, he is seriously underrated. Anyways, the Tall Man can read minds, affect your dreams, give you diseases, use telekinesis, and revive himself. He can also paralyze you with a touch, regenerate from an RPG blast. If that was enough, his whole shtick is to bring the dead back to life to create an army. And no, I don't just mean zombies, as he can use the victim's brains to make spheres, which can be used to attack from a range with sharp objects, moving faster than cars, which can also explode, so that's fun. And Tall Man has got thousands of them. He even has one giant one, actually has multiple giant ones, that can destroy large buildings and skyscrapers, moving faster than helicopters. And it takes a lot to kill the Tall Man, far more power than an RPG, and even that's not enough. The Tall Man is part of a hive mind where there's literally tens of thousands of him in an alternate dimension. Each of them takes over for when one of them's dead, which is pretty busted.
Pennywise the Dancing Clown
is pretty much just a pedophile that eats children, makes them afraid to make them taste better and sleep every 27 years. Pennywise's avatars can survive an earthquake which can destroy mountains, and can even move faster than a bullet train. He can shapeshift to whatever his victim fears, and can even manipulate illusions just to make his victim fear even more. He can regenerate from massive amounts of damage, and can go invisible. And the thing is, Pennywise cannot die because his true form exists in the macroverse. And while his true form is inaccessible to him, he can send victims to meet his true form when they get caught in the deadlights, which is basically his weird looking inside of his mouth. Why is this important? It's because his true form is so powerful it exists beyond the Dark Tower, which is infinitely beyond infinites, pretty much. In other words, he's high out of Versal with irrelevant speed, which is pretty OP. Yep. So with all that out of the way,
how does Goku compare? Does he lose? Does he win? Does he die a horrible, painful death? Well, let me just tell you, it is very one-sided. Now, all of the horror characters all have insane hacks, which would be great if they were fast enough to capitalize on, which unfortunately, none of them can. All of them are slower than light. And I do mean everyone. Everyone besides true form Pennywise, which I'll get more into that later. And Goku is also far more powerful. I'm pretty sure messing with the universe is nothing compared to the macrocosm busting scaling that Goku has. And as for all their levels of immortality, yeah, Goku has the Hakai in the manga. Well, not really the Hakai, but a pseudo Hakai, which was aiming to destroy Fusamasu, who was actually immortal, and he was capable with that without destruction energy. This quite literally means that he can use basic ki to cause existence erasure. And even if Goku can't use existence erasure to take them down somehow, he can easily use BFR to teleport them away. And this would actually be enough to defeat all these horror characters with ease, in base form. Bar 1. True form Pennywise. Except he can still beat Pennywise, from the mere fact he destroys the avatar. by crushing his heart, which is definitely capable of. You see, true form Pennywise is locked outside of the macroverse, and cannot enter whatsoever. And Pennywise is mountain level with subsonic speeds in his avatars. So, Goku's just gonna blitz and one-shot him anyway. And with that, the Halloween special has come to an end. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy your October. Because November's about to start and I don't think any of us dudes are gonna make it.